the Bay, the energy in here is alive. And that is why we are here, to share our energy, to share our togetherness, and what a treat you are in for this morning. Thank you so much for being here. You are in exactly the right place on this Sunday. We are so glad that you are here and that you are joining us online. Belinda, we see that you logged on. Thank you so much. Always happy to have our friends at home joining us as well as here in person. And welcome to our Black History Month celebration. As you can see, we have beautiful decorations and you are in store for a treat today. And before we officially begin, we have some things to tell you about that are coming up. Ash Wednesday. Begin Lent with unity. Join us at a sacred Ash Wednesday experience that's themed in the garden. Sounds very peaceful, doesn't it? There will be a sound healing, chanting, and communion. Release, realign, and reconnect with the divine in a peaceful, immersive setting. It starts right here in this room at 7 p.m. on March 5th. You can attend online, and we highly encourage you to be here in person if you can for the ashes and communion. Learn more on our website or app. And speaking of Ash Wednesday, Lent starts that same day. Reverend Juan and Reverend Noel have created a special Lent journey for all of us to do as a community, whether you are a virtual congregant or one that can meet in person. Using this year's Lent booklet, your journey will include digital reflections, prayer calls, hybrid prayer circles, and online/in-person meditations during the Lenten season. And if you need SEE credits, you know who you are, this program has credits available. Head over to our website or app and look for the Inner Garden, and you can get all the details there. And now, purposeful progress. Are you struggling to get things done to move forward with your dreams? Similar to the first service, it got real quiet. We'll just trust that there might be some of us in the room that feel that way. And if you are, we have something for you. Jump on a Zoom only, a virtual only, with others who are looking to align their energy with intention and purpose. That's right. We have partnered with Pilar Herreros, who you might know within our community. I don't see her right now, but Pilar is wonderful. She has a tried and true process in just 75 minutes of decluttering your mind and turning your aspirations into reality. That sounds pretty good. This isn't an activity where you learn and take action later. Instead, you take action during your time together. What a great opportunity. She'll help you overcome doubt, unlock potential, and move forward with confidence and grace, guaranteed. Not a lot of things can guarantee that. So, to enroll, head over to our website or app and look for Purposeful Progress, starting on Wednesday, March 12th at 7 p.m., And now, without further ado, please help me welcome our very own Senior Reverend Juan Del Hierro.
Thank you for that, Sam, and welcome everyone. Good morning. It is so great. Actually, yes, let me wait for that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, I love it. I'm going to do it one more time. Good morning, everyone. I love it. I can just feel the energy in the room, and I want you all to know that I am so grateful that I can be a part of it, that together we are creating this spiritual community, and we are continuing to deepen our experience of God in our midst. And so thank you so much for being with us for what is going to be an amazing Sunday celebration. We are celebrating Black History Month here, and we have some really beautiful and powerful things. Yeah. As Sam said, my name is Juan. I am the senior minister of the spiritual community. I've also been a congregant of this community for over 20 years. So it is so good. I share all the time. This community built me and created me. And so it is so great to see some new faces in the room, some faces that have been a part of Unity on the Bay in the last couple of years. And it's also nice to see some faces we haven't seen in a while. Just know that whatever your connection and your journey with Unity on the Bay, I always say, you're always a part of Unity on the Bay. When you come through those doors, when you connect with us online, there is some beautiful connection that takes place. And it not only is a blessing in that moment, but it continues to be a blessing for this community in many, many different ways. Like I said, I'm an expression of that, right? I'm standing up here as an expression of that. Now, if this is your first time or second time at Unity on the Bay, if you're in the room, would you just raise your hand so that we can welcome you and thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of it. Know we already feel blessed by you, and we trust that you will be blessed by us this morning. If you're watching from home and it's your first or second time connecting with us, actually at home, you might be at the beach, you might be at the park. Don't tell everybody else where you're at and how much fun you're having watching us online. But just know that we're also blessed by you. If this is your first or second time, whether you're in the room or watching somewhere else, just follow the prompts that are on the screen. For those in the room, there's also a connection card at your tables, and you can go after the service and see Stephanie, who is in the back, or Leo, and they'll give you a really warm welcome. So Black History Month, Sunday. I just want to say, in Unity, we believe that which we praise, that which we are grateful for, expands and grows. And so today is not only about celebrating and honoring the many contributions that the Black community has brought to all of us and how we have each been empowered by it, but by being in gratitude for it, by creating the space for that, we're creating an even greater foundation and space for more Black excellence to continue to support us, to inspire us, and to really continue to evolve us and deepen us. So thank you again for being a part of it. We have the Motowners today, which I'm so glad, because I would have looked really ridiculous wearing this jacket for a regular Sunday, And with us today again, we're so blessed to have somebody who himself was a part of not only the history of Unity on the Bay, but also as the only Black minister, senior minister in the history of Unity on the Bay. We really honor you, the ways that you paved the way, the doors that you opened for so many, and the ways in which you allow people to be seen. I am talking about no other than Reverend James Trapp. So for those of you who may not be keeping up with him as much since his days here at Unity on the Bay, he was senior minister here when I first arrived. I was talking with Gotti earlier because I mentioned in the first service. I remember being inspired by him. I remember the ways in which he opened me up to greater truth. I was remembering being in the chapel at the old building with these blue folders that they would give out at classes. How many of you remember those blue folders? That's what an impact. We remember blue folders from 2001 and 2. Can you believe that? But Reverend Trapp is the senior minister now at the Spiritual Life Center in Sacramento, California. He is also the former CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, where he led really the Unity movement for many years through that, and that's the role that he took on when he left Unity on the Bay, when he graduated from Unity on the Bay to do greater things for the movement itself. And his mission is to inspire people to unleash their highest version of themselves so that they can achieve their most audacious goals. How many of you have some audacious goals? How many of you know that you are meant to live an audacious life? How many of you are grateful then for a community that supports you in doing just that? Amen? All right, well, with that and with all this wonderful energy in the room, first let us speak our affirmation for our new building. And so let's just get into that space of knowing, of affirming, and claiming what we know is already ours. Together, we give thanks that Unity on the Bay's new home is manifested under the guidance of God. Ooh, okay. We're on it. Well, with that same energy, I'm just going to invite you to recognize that that energy, that life force that speaks so clearly through us is the very essence and presence of God, the divinity within us. And so I invite us to join together in taking a deep breath and just feeling the many ways in which Spirit right now is blessing us, the many ways in which God's own love is expressing all around us and within us and as us. We affirm our oneness with God, knowing that God is our all, that God is the foundation, God is the path, God is the vision, God is all that is true, that is great, that is powerful, that is love, that is light, that is grace, that is wholeness. And so here and now, we claim and affirm our faith that we and God are one, that there is no place or space where God is not. And so God lives in us. God lives through us. And as we are grateful for the many blessings and the many miracles that have taken place within our lives, we recognize that we are the hands, that we are the feet, that we are the voice, that we are the hugs, that we are the expressions of God. And so as we are blessed, we know that we are a blessing. As we recognize fully the beauty that it is to be in this faith, to be in this oneness, to be so connected to the divine, we also say yes to inviting others to recognize their truth, their worth, and their power. God is, we are. And it's through that that we experience blessings and miracles here, now, and always. And so we are in gratitude for all of this. We are in gratitude for this community. We are in gratitude for the ancestors, for all those that guided us to this very moment. We are grateful for all of the resilience and power that has been expressed and has allowed us to be gathered today in the name of good, in the name of God, in the name of all that is holy, and in the name of all that is sacred, which is God the good, here, present, now, and always. And so in gratitude for all of this, we say, thank you, God. Join me together. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And let the people say, so Unity on the Bay, as we get ready to have some fun with the Motowners, I invite you to stand and greet each other. And if you're watching from home, here's a little question for you so that you can share with each other. What is the sound of God to you? All right, Unity on the Bay, let us say hello to each other and let us have an amazing Sunday experience.
Unity on the Bay. Let's hear it again. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Y'all ready to hear some Motown? I said, y'all ready to hear some Motown? Are y'all ready to hear some Motown? All right, let's give it up for the Motowners.
We can get started. Search and find your seat.
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Said, brother, 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 woo, there's far too many of you dying. But you know you gotta find a way to bring some loving here today. Said, picking lines, brother. Said, the picket signs, brother. Don't punish me, brother, with brutality, brother. Come on, talk to me, brother, so you can see. Everybody say, what's going on? 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 Right on, right on. Moving out, why? Because of the color of her skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free.
Rap on, brother, rap on. The only person talking about love, our brother, is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, termination, demonstration, congregation, integration, humiliation, obligation to our nation, all the confusion. Now what's the answer today? Hey, hey.
The sales of pills are at an all-time high. Young folks walking around with their head in the sky. The sun is ablaze in the summertime.
And the beat goes on. Revolution, revolution, got control, sound of soul, shooting rockets through the moon. Kids growing up too soon. Politicians say more taxes will solve everything, and the band played on. I can turn the gray sky blue. I can make it rain whenever I want it to.
I can make a ship sail on dry land.
When my life is incomplete and I'm so blue, can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you. Can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you. Said I can fly like a bird in the sky.
Hey, I can buy anything that money can buy.
Oh, I can turn a river into a raging fire.
I can live forever if my soul desires.
And important are all these things I can do, but I can get next to you,
Can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you. I can turn back the hands of time, they'll believe I can.
I can make the seasons change just by waving my hand.
I can turn anything from old to new.
right now, there will be dancing later. No worries. I wanted to come up here because we have a very special reading of today's daily word. First, I just want to take a moment to thank the individuals that have made today possible. Yes, all of you, and this month, really, and our celebration of Black History couldn't have happened without Arnold Brundage. So Arnold, will you just wave so that everybody sees you and knows who you are? I do want to take a moment to thank the Motowners, and if you don't know, Ray Melton, who's a part of it, is a longtime Unity member, as well as LaWanda Joseph, who is their manager, and brings them every year, so thank you for that. And the person that did all of these beautiful decorations and the tables and has really helped throughout the month is Naima Abrams. So thank you to Naima. And as I invite Naima, Jasmina to come on up, I also just take a moment to invite Nana, if you just want to wave, because Nana Econ is a fixture here at Unity on the Bay, and this is 3 generations of Black excellence at Unity on the Bay, so let's give them a round of applause. Nana and then Naima has taken it on. They actually work to bring the tradition and the rituals of the African people to South Florida and have made such a huge contribution to all of us as a result. So it is a blessing to have you be a part of this community and have you bless us with all of who you are. So with that, I leave it to you and your beautiful daughter, Jasmina, to read today's daily word. And I remember when she was like this.
Thank you so much, Reverend Juan. Thank you. Today's daily word is wisdom. Speak with me the affirmation. Wisdom guides my words and actions.
When I have felt torn trying to decide which way to go or how to handle a trying situation, I may have asked in a prayer for insight and guidance. As I have grown spiritually, I have come to realize that any insights and guidance I could need are within me. Aspects of my divine inheritance, divine wisdom, is my ability to sense, to discern my best choice. I have paid attention to my hunches, flashes of inspiration, and the whispers of guidance. I feel my quiet moments. I believe they are divine, inspired, and they surprise me in confidence and with gratitude. I move in a direction of my highest good, trusting my intimate wisdom. Today's daily word is inspired by Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. And when you turn to the right, or when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it."
She was a unitine.
Thank you. Now we will be preparing for a time of meditation, so I encourage you to make sure your phones are silenced. And please do sing along with us as we prepare for that meditation in this song.
People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
enter this place of connection with the presence, we get on the train of pure spirit. Let us begin by simply taking in 3 deep breaths. And know with each breath you're taking yourself closer to this creative presence that we call God. An infinite intelligence that knows all is in all. And as you inhale and exhale, expanding your lungs and your belly, feel and sense your oneness with the presence. Along the way, you can feel and sense the great power of the breath that is moving through your body temple. And with each breath, you relax a little bit more. And you allow your eyes to gently close. And as you do, just feel the sense of your vision just going away. And as the vision goes away, put all your focus on the sounds around you, the sounds of the music and any other sounds that come up. And know it's all good. And as best as you can, just even stop listening to the sound and begin to focus on the sensations of your body. What are your fingertips touching? Notice the palms of your hands and how they feel. What are your feet touching? Notice how the soles of your feet feel right now. Become aware of your head and notice how your scalp feels, and can you sense how extremely powerful your mind is? Become more aware of this mind that is without limit. And know how expansive it is. And know that it has all the things you can possibly imagine and then some. For your ability to imagine, that faculty is endless. It does not know any limits at all. And know that you can use this great power of your creative imagination to experience dimensions beyond what you can see and touch. I'm going to invite you to float along a timeline of your past and observe the moments of your life that passed by without any emotions, without judgment. Know that you're floating along this timeline of your life all the way back to birth and making your way back to soul level, where you can communicate with your higher self, or what some folks call the quantum self. Let your mind drift back in time where you were this morning, or where you were yesterday or last month. See what you were doing last year. Float back along this timeline, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Go back to your school days and see the moments flash when you were a youngster. Drifting through your childhood. seeing the places you lived during these times. You are seeing these things through the prism of those young eyes. Perhaps they are real accounts of memories you had, or maybe you can just see stories that you were told about when you were young. You can now see you are a baby, learning how to walk. You may not see it consciously, but they're part of your soul that knows all and remembers all and sees them clearly now. So go back in time where you can see a very tiny baby before you could walk, see the people caring for you. Observe the colors and the sounds you may notice from this time. And now imagine you're in your mother's womb, safe and warm. It's quiet in there. And you feel wanted in the world outside of your mom. You were only a spark of life at that time, but you are passing through back into the spiritual dimension. Observe that, feel that, know that right now. And sense your oneness with the Spirit in this quiet moment for just a few moments in the silence. The higher self is always waiting, where you can come to this moment where you are connected and learn and reveal your authentic self, your true self, your unchanging self, the unharmable self, the truth of who you are, always. Amen.
You know, this song is by the Commodores. And I know a lot of us remember this because it was like, how is this group singing a gospel song? But it brings back great memories of family, being together, and just love, pure love, nothing but. So sit back and reminisce with us. Father, help your children. Don't let them fall by the side of the road, and teach them to love one another, that heaven might find a place in their heart. 'Cause Jesus is love. No, he won't let you down. And I know he's mine. Deep down in my soul, you you've got to walk on. Walk on through your frustration, 'cause His love and His wisdom will be your helping hand. And I know the truth, and His word will be that revelation to lift up your heart and be thankful and glad, 'cause Jesus is love. It won't let you down, and I know. Right there within you, I know it's mine forever. In my heart. Forever in my heart. I know. Talk with you and do all the things that you taught us to do, 'cause we know that Jesus is our way shower, our master teacher. If you ask any one of us to show you, love is the word forever and ever. Joy. Jesus. Who can turn your day around. Jesus. Say yeah. Yeah. Oh, when you want that healing, Jesus, from within, Jesus, it's dwelling within. Jesus. The Spirit of God is already in you. More than ever. You know, right now, no matter what the world is showing you, your light can block all darkness that you perceive, because it's not even really there. Your light shows you the way, the only way. There's nothing but good, nothing but love, nothing but joy, nothing but peace. And it's all within you. You've already had it. You've always had it. Jesus is love. You are loved forever. Jesus, God's greatest expression is love.
The only thing I can say that if you listen to that and were thinking about your problems, listen again. When you hear music like that coming from the depths of our soul, all seeming problems disappear. And our challenge is to stay in that space when we're going through our stuff. Thank you so for Rayford. Yes, and the Motowners, the choir. Oh, thank you so much. It's always an absolute pleasure to be back at Unity on the Bay. As I always say that whenever here with our folks, it's like I never left. I can feel and sense that connection. So thank you for coming out this morning. It's my pleasure to be here. As I was saying, I was down here. I said, well, let me come down and celebrate my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. And I said, I can't imagine a better place to be than Unity on the Bay. You know, many years ago when I was a young child, many years ago, still young at heart, but anyway, I came home from school, and I could sense that something wasn't quite right. I was around 6 years old, and it was a terrifying experience that I had gone through, at least from my view at that time. Because I'd come home, and my mother was not there, and she was always there. It was around 3 o'clock or so when I got from school there, and she wasn't there. And then, at 4 o'clock she didn't arrive, and 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and a sense of angst started coming over me. And I forgot about it for a moment and went to bed that night and got up the next morning, and she still was not there. So a sense of dread increased in me. And I had a lot of stuff going on in the family, so I didn't know what had happened to her. I didn't know whether she was alive or had left, was not coming back. And, that night turned into a week, and that week turned into months. And I didn't see her again. And, of course, it had an impact on me that set a trajectory of my life that I didn't really understand the depths of it till many years later. But I know that I had a void within me as a result of that. And I sought to fill that void by channeling my energy and doing well in school. That somehow I thought that if I did that, that somehow, some way, that void would be filled. So I did well in school, went to an Ivy League college, went to law school, thinking that, having overcome the challenges of my neighborhood, the impoverishment that we experienced, that this would give me a sense of satisfaction. This would fill that void, that emptiness that I had within me. But of course, it never happened. Because anytime you try to fill something outside of you for something that's missing within you, what follows that temporary satisfaction is dissatisfaction. And so later on in my life, I got involved in riotous living. This was around the 80s in Miami, and as I was mentioning in the earlier service, that this was the time that a lot of riotous living was going on. If you know, you know. And ended up losing everything that I thought was important in my life during that time. And I was trapped in a prison of my own making, a prison that was in my own mind. And of course, I later tried to fulfill that through other external stuff, but those things can only address the surface effects and not the root problem. I think there have to be changes at the root level. There must be a transformation of the soul. You know, we have different definitions of what that is, but in New Thought, Ancient Wisdom teachings of which we are a part, the soul is really the equal of our entire awareness that is within us, our thoughts and feelings. It is our consciousness. And it's behind everything that we see or express in our life and in our world. And we nurture our soul with the thoughts and values that we feed it. And those thoughts and values either come from the human way of seeing the world, the three-dimensional world, what comes to us through the television sets and the iPhones, and oftentimes it's the shadow side of humanity, the lower vibration. Or those things, they come from the divine and the perfect, pure spiritual ideas of spirit. So we feed our souls with fear, thoughts, and the beliefs of separation. What will manifest in a world is a world of divisiveness and behavior that reflects the us versus them consciousness. But when we feed our soul with principles of truth, the high ideas and ideals and the purity of spirit, that is what shows up in our life. So one source contaminates the consciousness and the other maintains its purity. So we hear the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, saying in Mark 8:36 that for those who have ears to hear, he said, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Now understand, this energy of the soul, consciousness, is not limited by time. It's not limited by space. This came to me as I was thinking about what I recall hearing about Dr. Howard Washington Thurman, who was a theologian, a mystic, and he was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And in the 1970s, he gave a lecture, and it was so interesting, entitled "The Benefits of Slavery." Now, I asked him, I called up Boston University Library one time. I said, can I get that speech? Because I need to read that. And they said, I don't think he said anything like that. But I knew he had said it because I had talked to a couple of my high school classmates, and we were all together, on spring break, I think, or winter break down in Miami. And one of my friends had gone to Morehouse College where they had that lecture. And we were all home for the holidays and doing nefarious things, telling lies. But anyway, one of my classmates told me about that, and I asked him, well, what are they teaching you there? But then he went on to explain what he meant. He went on to say that Dr. Thurman focused on the mindset of the African people. And they had a creative essence that developed due to their close relationship with nature. And they had that close relationship with the spirit of the living God, or what we call the presence. And he said they experienced this creativity everywhere and in everything. And he went on to note that as a result of their enslavement, their creative, compassionate, and forgiving mindset or soul energy was spread throughout the world. And the invisible hand of evolution would spread this soul energy everywhere on the planet to guide the next step of human evolution. And this soul energy can translate possibilities into new realities. I learned a little something about this, at least thought about this, as I understood how that energy changed a game that I know little about. I mean, I've seen it. I know people go to it. And that's the game of hockey. Who would have thought it? The one thing I remember about going to a hockey game is that I went one time, and I didn't realize that when you go, you need to make sure you bring a coat, because it's cold in there. And I realized you got to go there. It's got to be cold to keep the ice, from melting. Anyway, that's beside the point. The formerly enslaved Africans were responsible for revolutionary, of all things, hockey. I didn't know that. They started with the enslaved people and escaping the South by way of the Underground Railroad. And they ended up going past the border of the United States all the way into Canada, and specifically Nova Scotia. And they were treated pretty well there as human beings, unlike other places in the U.S. And in Nova Scotia, there were local churches that wanted them to be part of their congregation. It was a little self-serving because, they wanted them to get more butts in the seats, something the ministers look at it from time to time. Nevertheless, they wanted them to be there. And now, you know that in some churches, they used to have these softball leagues. When I grew up, they have some leagues that would go on and have competition between different churches. But in Canada, they didn't have softball leagues. They had hockey leagues. So the black hockey players were formed to attract young black men to Sunday services and with the promise of a hockey game between the rival churches. And after the service, they would introduce them to this game, and some of the brothers there would say, well, I don't know nothing about that, but they checked it out, and they just saw people sliding on the ice and carrying this curved stick and, hitting this round thing into a net. And they said, well, how hard can this be? They didn't know what they didn't know. But they knew nothing about the rules of hockey. But these gentlemen were creative, and they came up with stuff that people had never seen before. Apparently, all the things that has made hockey exciting today, speed skating, aggressive checking, slap shots, gymnastics of goaltending, were born of necessity from the members of that league and through their creative essence of the soul of these formerly enslaved individuals. I say that to say they used that soul power that traveled through generations to create new possibilities in hockey in Canada. And just like in many musical genres, maybe rock and roll, many of the creative innovations that didn't make it, until they weren't notified or been acknowledged until many years later, who, people like Little Richard, who had come up with a lot of stuff before it became popular. A lot of stuff they did in the hockey league weren't really known until the 1950s. And the black players didn't get credit for all the innovations now taken for granted in hockey. But as one hockey enthusiast said, just like the rest of the world, hockey is better with black people in it. But the whole idea, this invisible hand of evolution that Dr. Thurman talked about, was at work. So when we feed our soul with possibility thinking, when we feed our soul with divine ideas of the Spirit of the living God, we realize that conditions do not have the final word in our life. The content of our soul has the final word. The content of our soul. When the enslaved people were taken from West Africa, they were brought to different parts of the planet. And one of the places they ended up was Brazil. And that was many destinations for many of those enslaved people. And after being transported across the ocean, sometimes only a third of them survived. And when they arrived, they had little or no possessions, and their families were separated. But there was something that was not able to be taken from them, and that was their traditions and their religions. And so the enslaved Africans reorganized themselves based upon their spiritual elements. They called them the gods of the winds and the gods of the forest, the gods of the seas and the waters and the fire. And each of the enslaved related to at least one of those elements. And so when they ended up scattered about on different locations, the enslaved Africans reorganized themselves based upon the spiritual families of the religion of Orisha. And they formed new groups based upon the various aspects of the Orisha religion, such as Oshun, the god of sweet waters, Shango, the god of lightning and thunder, Ogun, the god of iron, and so forth. And so as the enslaved people reorganized themselves in this way, they were no longer lost because they had created a new type of family. And now the enslavers forbade the enslaved Africans from practicing their native religion and forced them to follow the Christian faith. And they instructed them to put the Christian saints on the altar so they could have statues of Jesus there, and on either side they would maybe have the statue of St. Peter there on one side and the Virgin Mary on the other. And when it came for them to start their rituals, the Africans would lay their heads flat on the floor, touching the ground. And when the enslavers and the overseers saw this, they believed that they were paying homage to the Christian saints, and they were absolutely amazed. They were saying, my God, I've never seen such devotion and such faith. We don't even believe as much as they do. But what they didn't know, that under the ground where they had touched their heads, where they put their heads, the Africans had buried pots that represented the symbols of the Orisha gods that they worshiped. So when the enslaved Africans touched their heads on the ground, they weren't worshiping Christianity. They were celebrating their spiritual tradition in a way that they did not understand. And of course, years later, those in power fought to keep the descendants of those enslaved Africans from practicing their native religion. And many people who continued to practice the Orisha religion, even though the government had, burned down their temples and destroyed them, and the police were arresting people who was practicing those religions, the descendants practiced their native religion up until the 1960s, and despite all of the things that were stopping them. And they persevered through the attacks for many, many years. And today there are over 500,000 practitioners and celebrants of the African religion of Orisha today. But the point is this. When our soul is rooted in a divine idea, nothing can stop us. The power that is within us is more potent than the forces outside of us. Many times we have hurdles that may frustrate this power, but nothing can stop it. And as I was singing earlier in the service, I was talking about hip-hop songs, and my son is doing a lot of hip-hop, and I've been listening to a lot of them. There's a song that has a line in it, nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. I don't remember the whole part or so, but I remember that line. And this soul power is always seeking to be released. The soul expresses its greatest power when it's in tune with the rhythm of the universe. I was talking about the time that one evening I was, many years ago, I can't believe these years of going by, but I took a walk nearby a park. And as I was strolling past the park, there were some kids out there, and they were jump roping. They were doing double Dutch jump roping. It's a lot more difficult than the single jump rope that I would do. And I hadn't seen anybody do double Dutch in a long time, so I decided to sit on a nearby bench and to watch, and one of the kids there knew who I was. They said, Reverend James, why don't you come and give it a shot? I said, well, I don't think so. But I didn't want to just act like I didn't want to do it, so I gave it a shot. Of course, I couldn't do it. I got all tangled up in the rope and had no idea what I was doing as I looked like I didn't know what I was doing. And then one of the kids said, in order to do double Dutch, you have to jump in the middle of the two ropes and get in rhythm with the flow. You kind of get in rhythm with the flow, and I did get it down. I didn't get it completely down. But here's the thing, and I think the message. Once you get in rhythm with the flow of the ropes, individuals' creativity come into play. Each kid can jump on one foot and jump backwards and use their imagination and all of that good stuff and not get tangled up in the rope because they're in rhythm with what the rope is. And I think that's how life is. We are here to get in tune with the rhythm of the universe. And when our soul consciousness is in tune with the rhythm of the universe, nothing can deny us. Nothing can stop what is ours by divine appointment. When we begin to get in tune with that, nothing can stop us from getting there. But when we're out of rhythm, and we're out of rhythm either individually or as a collective, we fall short of the divine ideas that Spirit has for us. And we can look around and we see people falling prey in the belief that we're separate from our source. They fall prey to the belief that we're born sinners and there's nothing we can do about it. We may fall prey to the belief that we're not good enough, causing us to get tangled up in the limited beliefs of scarcity and fear and self-inflicted nonsense. That's what sin is, self-inflicted nonsense. I learned that from one of my instructors. That's all it is. We do it to ourselves, including the us versus them consciousness that we often see in our society today. But our mission, should we choose to accept it, is for our soul to get in tune with the divine oneness that is there. And when we begin to do that, we begin back in tune and begin to see stuff from the highest point of view. I'm going to try to, because I got a sign that I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try to condense the last part of this. Because when we get in tune, we begin to see from a higher perspective. We have to kind of shift our energy, shift our foot, shift our way of seeing the world differently. And I began to see this in an experience when I had, was seeing my mother, who I said had disappeared, and I had a certain way that I was feeling about this. I didn't know whether I was upset or resentful, and I had a lot of stuff going on, but over the years, I remembered one thing. I remember one day I was in the backyard of our home when I was living in New York, and it was summertime, and I was bored and didn't know what to do, and I happened to see a beehive in a tree. And I had a stick. And I went over to the beehive, and I decided, I'm just going to hit the beehive. I hit the beehive, and the bees started running after me, and I got away. I'm feeling good about myself. I decided to come back and do it again. And I hit the beehive again, and I got away. And then I decided to go for a third time. But before I went back the third time, the bees decided to have a meeting. So I walked up to the beehive, and I hit and raised my arm. I didn't even hit it. And they came out in formation, Jack. Let me tell you, the Blue Angels had nothing on them. And I got stung on my head and my neck, and I had bumps all over myself. And I remember my mother just taking care of me and loving me and caressing me. And as a result of having that vision, it changed my whole perspective and my relationship to her. And I'll just say briefly, we eventually did get back together like 20-something years later. But I was holding that vision, and something transformed within us. Okay, how much time I got? Okay, keep going. I'm just going to say this last story because I think it's a very important part of it. When I went to Ghana, West Africa, years ago, I went to what they call the slave capital, where the enslaved people were brought before they were put on slave ships to come to the West. And they packed them in boats. And, when we went to that area, there was a tunnel that you walked through. And I can sense that when we went there, all the people of our group, we could feel and sense an energy. And I didn't know how to feel because I was feeling like, I don't know whether to get angry, upset, depressed, sad, all those things going on at one time. I had the range of those emotions. But I talked to one of the chiefs in the community, and he said that, understand that we live in a society, in a world in which there's a continuum of energy. And if we do something positive today, not only are you uplifted, but that energy travels back to others that have come before you. And he says, when you do great things in your life today, your ancestors are freed up because they are feeling and sensing the liberation that you are demonstrating in our life and in our world. And so what we have to do, I believe, as I got from that, to live our lives at the highest and best that we can, knowing that everyone around us will be lifted up in some way, shape, or form. Because there's no past, present, or future. There's only one energy going on. And if we begin to lift up ourselves, everyone is lifted up. Everyone is lifted up. So I'm just going to close out with this. I often wondered, what happens with great people like a Harriet Tubman or a Marcus Garvey or one of my favorite people and my role models, Muhammad Ali, when I grew up? What happens to someone like a Michael Jackson or a Nelson Mandela or a Maya Angelou, who happened to come to Union on the Bay at one time when we had a service? She came a couple of times, even after I had left, I remember. What happens when they make their transition? What happens to their brilliance? What happens to their soul energy? Does it just disappear? Is it gone? The fact is that people who have overcome so much to be where we are today is proof positive, I believe, that the energy And the power of that soul force, that consciousness, that essence never goes anywhere. It remains as a gift for each and every one of us to remind us of our possibilities and how we can translate those possibilities in our mind, our souls, and the souls of all others to new realities in our world. The world needs us now more than ever to do that, to take that energy in, to transform the communities and society in which we are living right now. And as we do, not only are we lifted up, but we use that soul power to transform the very society in which we live. This is our commission, this is our charge, and why we are here. Let us use that soul power wherever we go. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you.
A little more love for Reverend Trapp. Thank you so much for that wonderful, incredible, powerful message. I think Reverend Trapp said something that really struck with me, that external conditions do not have the final word on the outcome of our lives, but really that divine light that is within us, our oneness, that matters and creates our reality. And that's just here, all of us together in unity, at unity, is how we move forward. So thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And since you mentioned double dutch in the first service, I've been working on getting 2 jump ropes. Stay tuned. Working on getting 2 jump ropes, because I know we have something going on later. We'll keep working on that. And so we bring ourselves now to the gratitude opportunity. Abundance reveals itself in so many beautiful ways, each a precious gift. But one of the most powerful ways it moves is through you. When your spirit is ignited, you become a vessel for greater good, not only for unity on the bay, but for the entire world. We invite you to open your heart and let that generosity flow freely. Together, we create waves of growth, love, and boundless blessings. Our text giving information is on the screen here behind you and at home, and you can give via text or via our Unity app. Or if you're here in the room and want an envelope, please just raise your hand, and one of our wonderful volunteers will come along and provide it to you. I'm going to give you a few moments now in sacred silence as you give in gratitude this morning. And we thank you for your gift, and let's bless them together. Divine love, that I am, blesses all that I give and all that I receive. And let's keep the blessings coming with our blessing for the children that are here in our kids club, here in the room, at home. And please share with me. Let's get that energy flowing through our hands. And together we say, children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. And prayer chaplains, please come on up. Our prayer chaplains are available up front here after service and are ready to bring you peace of mind this morning. So please speak with them after service, should you want to, or leave a prayer intention at the table on your way out. And now, please join me, Reverend Trapp and Reverend Juan, and let us know about our growth work for the week.
Well, first, once again, thank you to Reverend Trapp.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's great to
Glad
have
to be
all
here.
of you be a part of this. And just a reminder, we have a Unity on the Bay app. If you haven't downloaded, you can do so now. You can get some help on it on your way out. And our app is a place where we put questions and quotes, and you can take today's message and go deeper in it and connect with that. So make sure that you do that. And there's even greater opportunities of connection. Just want to remind you or let you know that right after the service, we are going to have some great time of fellowship, so we invite you to stick around. We have food from MLK Cafe, and we're going to have some soul food for all of us here tonight and today, and it's just a way of us continuing to connect and be in community. And there's also ways in which you can continue to connect with Reverend Trapp. He has a workshop happening
Yes, we
tomorrow,
have a workshop
right?
tomorrow, 6:30 as I could recall. And, you know, there's many topics we're going to cover, but one thing I remember is that I had that dinner with Maya Angelou. We were talking about how you have those moments where things just effortlessly happen, and it's kind of through spirit. And I was wondering how we could make that happen more. She said, maybe that only happens maybe once every couple of years, but I've been studying something called flow and how to get in flow state. And we're going to cover that in the workshop, among other things. And also, I'm writing a new book. I had some books coming. It didn't arrive in time. But I'm writing a book called Why We're Polarized and how we can create a transformation through having a change in values. And you can pre-order the book. There's a flyer, I think, on some of the things. You can use the QR code. Just buy it, and then that'll make me really have to finish it by the end of the year. But you'll get a reduced price, and also know when I do a retreat here in Miami, you all will be the first to know. All right.
That's a very good way of making sure you finish that book.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have lots going on even today and tomorrow. Want to invite you to join us next Sunday. It's going to be another Powerhouse Sunday. I'm going to be sharing about Myrtle Fillmore's favorite prayer, the prayer of faith, and how faith shows up in our life. How actually, as I look over at David, the last time we spoke about the prayer of faith, you testified your healing through the power of prayer and faith here at Unity on the Bay. And we're going to be celebrating those testimonies again and the ways in which God shows up. I just love that prayer. It actually ends with, "For God and love and truth are here." Do you feel that?
Yes.
For God and love and truth are here. Amen?
Amen.
So be sure to join us next Sunday for another wonderful service. Next Sunday, we're also having a welcome team training and meeting. So we really invite you to serve and be a part of volunteering here at Unity in the Bay. By being part of the welcome team, you're helping us create the space for even more people to get everything that we have here at Unity on the Bay. If you're interested in becoming part of the welcome team, on your way out, make sure that you connect with Leo, our engagement director, and find out more about that. Also, just want to let you know, because we have Reverend Trapp with us today. After he went off to Unity Worldwide Ministries, my predecessor as senior minister was Reverend Chris Jackson. And I'm here to tell you that he will be here towards the end of March, beginning of April. So make sure that you are on the lookout for that also as we welcome him back here at Unity on the Bay. With that, did you hear? It was his birthday yesterday. So you guys ready? Together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I can't think of a better place to celebrate my birthday than here at Unity on the Bay.
So we're going to invite you to stand so that we can speak our prayer for protection. Real quick, we're not going to have our peace song, but just you wait to see what we're having instead. And make sure that you stick around for that fellowship. So, together, let us affirm. The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are divine. Take it away, boys.
All right, I need everybody to put your hands up. God is good.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
And on that note, well, put put your hands up. You know you make me wanna shout. Throw my hands up, shout. Throw my hands up, shout. Throw my hand back, shout. Come on now, shout. Don't forget to say you will. Shout. Don't forget to say yeah, 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 yeah. Now, shout. Say you will. Say it right now, baby. Say you will. Come on, come on. Say you will. Say that. You say you will. Say that you love me. Say that you need me. Say that you want me. You wanna please me. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. I still remember when I used to be 90 years old. Oh, I was a fool for you, the bottom of my soul. Oh, now that you're grown up, you're old enough to let me go. That you wanna leave me, you want to let me go. I want you to know. Said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. That I didn't been to myself. Oh, and if you ever leave me, I don't want nobody else. Oh, said I want you to know.
I want you to know.
Said I want you to know right now.
I want you to know right
You know you make me wanna shout. Oh, now.
Shout.
Hey, yeah, now. Shout. Oh, now. 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 Hey, yeah, now. Wait. Now wait a minute. See, I feel all right. See, I woke up this morning and I looked up to the good Lord. And I said to the good Lord, I want to thank you for the things that I have. Because I refuse to complain about the things that I don't have.
Come on now.
And those of you that are in a marriage, remember that a happy wife and a happy partner is a happy life. Because if your partner or your wife ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Nobody.
Till I feel all right. Till you make me want to do what? You make me want to shout. Throw my hands up. Shout. Throw my head back. Shout. Throw my heels up. Shout. Come on now. 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 Shout. A little bit lower now. Shout. This is part of the song. If you got a bad back, you have to know your limitations. See, I know mine. Little bit softer now, little bit lower now, little bit lower now. Let's rise up, let's rise up, let's rise up, let's rise